War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast. This is our somewhat regular get-together with you during the week to catch you up on the latest Auburn news, topics, discussions, scuttlebutt, things that you need to be aware about when you're going to talk around the water cooler, on social media, in the Auburn experience. To us, that's all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it, though, is if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. So thank you so much for joining us and what we're going to be doing today. Episode 76 of Ever to Podcast. Today's date is October 29th, 2025. And as always, I'm your host, Kyle Loomis. Today, we're going to try to hit these few things and maybe some more as well. I got a little bit of a preview for Auburn versus Memphis basketball last preseason game. Some more updates for football as we prep for the Kentucky game and some spring baseball news. We had a lot of that fall baseball news and plenty of other things to dive into that we're going to do our best to cover you and catch you up on. Let's start with basketball. Certainly still the focus on football, but when we can, let's spend a little bit of time on basketball because, hey, the season starts next week if you weren't aware of that. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. But here we are sitting still in the middle of preseason. Auburn had its basketball game with Oklahoma State, which they did lose in overtime, but that was a great game, great first opportunity to see the Stephen Pearl era in an unofficial status. Official will start next week. Last one, though, will be in Atlanta versus Memphis. Is a very familiar territory, not just in terms of opponents, but in terms of the actual place where you face this opponent. Auburn's faced Memphis there before in an actual in-season showcase event in the early holiday hoopsgiving event of the season. So something that we've seen before. Memphis is usually a very proud and storied program. So obviously, even though this is preseason, this should be yet another fun matchup, but good test for Auburn basketball. Coach Stephen Pearl has spoken about it. We've got the press conference available from you via the athletic department on our YouTube, Facebook, other places as well if you need to access that. Always go check those out. A couple of things that he shared in there were some injury updates. Keyshawn Murphy seems to still be coming along with what happened to him in the Oklahoma State game. And apparently he may have been already nursing some multiple issues that he's had. So that means more time for others to get in there and rotate, especially at the big man position. So there's that particular, at least, news that we need to probably monitor the best. And it sounds like his minutes are going to be a little bit limited for Memphis as well, which is obviously the smart thing. What I really appreciate is it seemed that both coaches, especially in the last preseason game, really wanted to test each of their teams and keep the starters out there as much as they could. But then I think the whole Keyshawn Murphy thing scared everybody, and that's when you started seeing people probably be pulled out a little bit more than they should have, and probably will be a little bit to the degree in this game. It sounds like also Filip Jovic is coming along very nicely, getting more acquainted with his team, with the way what's expected of him here. There's been some conversations with him as well throughout the week that you can probably find out through social media. But Auburn versus Memphis, it's going to be here in just a day or so. So get ready for that, and we'll be eager to find out how we can, what can we glean from Auburn versus Memphis in Game 2 of the preseason game. Check that press conference out if you have not done so already. Before we get to football stuff, let's keep with some of the other programs that you guys are always interested in. That's baseball right now. It is still fall ball time. It's weird thinking that I had in my mind that the big conclusion of it was the banana ball game, and wow, that would have been great. But also, you've still got some time for them to do their traditional intra-squad games that they do during fall called the Orange and Blue World Series, and that is going on starting Wednesday. So they're going to play games 1 and 2 and 3 this week, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You can find this particular schedule on their social media as well, so I won't bore you with all the details, but they'll have a pregame batting practice, and then they'll actually play the game. It looks around in the early afternoon, mid-afternoon hours for most of those particular times, and this will simulate at least kind of like playing a series to some degree on Wednesday, on Friday, on Sunday, as opposed to Friday through Sunday. But they'll even play earlier in the day on Sunday like they would during the series. What's really interesting about these is not just, hey, let's go out there, practice, see what the team's got, but you can see how they break down the teams. They've even posted a roster for Game 1 already. I'm pretty sure they'll mix it up a little bit, but you can see how they've divvied up not just players, but coaches too, and how they're going to compete against each other in this Orange and Blue World Series. So I won't run through the full list of you here, but you can see those, who's on the orange squad, who's on the blue squad. Obviously, you've got your really familiar names in there, but you'll get to know some of the new ones as well. For instance, here's the coaches for each of the different squads. Carl Nonamaker, Everett Tieford, and Sonny DeShera will be doing the orange team. Gabe Gross, Scott Foxhall, and then Taylor Belza are going to be the coaches, leaders of the blue squad, with I guess Butch Thompson just overseeing all of it. I don't know how he would pick sides and all of that, but that's going on right now. I know it feels like that banana ball situation was the conclusion of everything, but ball for baseball is still going on. Go out to Plainsman Park. Usually those are open for you to view. That's why they post the schedule and things like that. So just come on over to Plainsman Park, check it out if you want to get a little baseball flair in the fall for yourself. Let's talk about football. We are still sitting in the middle of our preparation for week 10. Is this week 10? Yes. The Kentucky game at home, night game. We've already talked a little bit of detail about what you need to wear, Navy, all that kind of stuff. This week and today we heard from the SEC teleconference you can hear all coaches and hear takes from that, from people sharing it in the media. But on the call today, we heard from Coach Hugh Freeze and a lot of the same questions and typical answers. Not to say that there wasn't anything of value on it, but I know the main things that you all will want to hear from that SEC teleconference is going to be about injuries in the quarterback race. Let's start with quarterback race. No decision yet as of this Wednesday SEC teleconference about if there's going to be one quarterback or the other starting. It sounds like that they are both doing very well in practice, as has been the case throughout the entirety of the offseason, is everybody's doing well in practice, but having great starts in the case of Jackson Arnold, but maybe not as strong of finishes. And then Ashton Daniels came in as one opportunity and was able to stabilize the team to get that bounce back win versus Arkansas. So no really decisions yet. They're both doing well. One of the things he did point out for people is not only that Jackson has shown some great promise at times and just not been able to finish strong, but also that Ashton Daniels, along with this trying to potentially maintain his red shirt, has also come in late to the team as more than most did. He had a lot less time to get acquainted with the team, prepare, all that kind of stuff, and it takes a little bit extra time for you to get completely up to speed. So that's yet another reason why maybe there's been a little bit of the delay in potentially utilizing him earlier in the season. So something just to keep in mind. Injuries. So we were asked about that on the SEC, not just the SEC, but the press conference earlier in the week, but some updates here. He was asked about Cam Coleman. Certainly people were very worried with that ankle injury that seemed to transpire. We got word that it was not a high ankle sprain, but a lower one, which is a little bit, if you're going to have a better situation. He still is not doing he's still not doing team practice, but he's doing individual repetitions and practice stuff while everybody's doing the typical practice stuff, which means that he's still limited to some degree. Talked about him doing just straight line stuff. Sounds like not too much cutting right now, just letting that joint really heal up. But coach seemed very optimistic that he would play, at least in some capacity, on Saturday, which is good news. A lot of Auburn fans really want to see a strong game performance and want to see some of their star players. It'll make people start to chill out a little bit about the year that it has been and start to build some confidence, hopefully, if the Tigers can get a win. And Cam Coleman certainly will be a factor in that. Still plenty of other things that we can discuss today, kind of picking and choosing here. The things we'll continue to push back a little bit towards the next show. I always like to throw a little bit of flair of non-sports in there, so let's talk about this. This is the Auburn Creed grants from the university. I know this isn't the most interesting thing to all of you out there, but certainly we want to take time to do that. The Auburn Creed grants are awarded annually through a competitive and values-driven process led by the Auburn Alumni Association Board of Directors. These grants are designed to support innovative programs that embody the principles of the Auburn Creed. We are looking to inspire the work of the Auburn family, inspired by the Auburn Creed, for Auburn University. Really quick information on how this is awarded. You can go to alumni.auburn.edu/creed-grants for more information. The awarding of the Auburn Creed grants is a 3-step narrowing process, beginning with submitting a letter of intent formed by a formal application and culminating with an in-person pitch to the board of directors for these grants, which will be awarded up to $100,000 at the discretion of the board. So there you go. If you want to get involved in that, someone that needs that for education, things like that, check that out. The Auburn Creed grants through the Auburn Alumni Association, something for you to be aware of, even outside of the sports realm, so that you can be well-informed on the Auburn experience. Reminders for you, check out the latest edition on our podcast network here. If you're already subscribed, which you should be, you've already probably seen that pop up in your feed. War Horses, Week 5, breakdown of Auburn Equestrian, not just Auburn Equestrian, but NCEA, Complete Equestrian with Auburn Elvis. Check that out. And tonight is Auburn Family Night. That's every single Wednesday night at 9 Eastern time, unless there's a schedule conflict, but tonight is not that night. So join us if you can, if you're listening to this today. If you're listening to this later, make sure you check the replay and join us for one in the future. As always, we want to hear from you. Check us out on social media. Hit us up in the direct messages if you need to contact us. Our email is e2cnetwork@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I want to leave you with this, as always, the Auburn Creed. Ask you to do these things: to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same. War Eagle.